Feature Friday.
The freshest.
Okay,
Let's
what's
go.
up, people? Welcome to Feature Friday Plus. Today we're joined by Jaya, and my God, I am so excited. Welcome. How are you feeling today?
Thank you, Vale. I'll call you Vale and Efra. My goodness, I'm. It's 7 p.m. here in the Philippines. Wait, it's almost 8 p.m.
Right.
Right.
and it's been a good day, busy day because we were doing online noontime show. It's a noontime show
sure.
here. All of us judges for this singing competition we're doing online. So it's been a busy week, but last day tomorrow, and then I rest again. Everything's good. How are you
Nice.
guys? How are
Yeah,
you guys?
wonderful. We're good. It's 12 p.m. here in UK in London. It's been a good day. It's been a good morning so far. Looking
Oh, in
forward
the
to this.
UK. You're
Yeah.
Oh,
from the UK.
Yeah,
I
we're
thought
in
you were from New
London.
York.
No,
no.
no, 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 we're in London. No, we're in London. But yeah, it's cool to have you on. I'm super excited. I mean, my God, your work is unbelievable.
Oh, I'm embarrassed. I can go now.
No,
no.
I'm,
honestly.
oh wow, you're making me blush. Although I got a little bit of blush on right now. Thank you very much.
No, but seriously, we've really we've checked out a lot of your work on the channel and stuff like that,
And a lot of like off the channel as well. It might fall entirely.
it's so yeah, it's awesome. And I think what's so admirable about people like you who are kind of purists of music. I qualify you kind of like that, like you're like a pure musician, a pure singer.
Yeah.
And it's so I'm saying. I mean, not to barrage you with a barrage of compliments, but it is sort of like it's very refreshing. Even now when things have kind of modernized so much and
Changed and evolved in different
technology
ways.
has
Yeah.
taken
That's
such
right.
hold of things. It's so nice to hear voices like yours, and it's awfully, it's very, very enjoyable.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Okay. Well, um, I'm old, so I've been around for quite some. I'm 51 years old. I just
Yeah,
turned 51
you're not old, Jaya.
in
That's
March.
not old.
That's not
Oh
old.
well, my hip says so, and my lower back. But and my one gray hair over here that I'm trying to like grow, but it keeps on getting cut off.
Dude, Jaya, I think
Thank
people
you.
in the Philippines don't age, dude. They
Yeah.
don't.
How
I've
do you guys
I don't
keep
know what's
it?
wrong with the heat.
se-
Y'all don't, y'all, whatever age you are right now, the two of you
yeah.
don't look your age. So whatever, you guys look like teenagers from like a high school, get together, coming online.
No, no,
Yeah.
no.
So
Efra's 22. I'm 26.
you could be my kids. I'm 51. So yeah, seriously. I have
There you
a
go.
stepson. Yeah, I have a stepson who's 26 and just got married December.
Oh, nice. Congrats.
Congratulations.
So thank you very much. And of course, I have a 14 and an 11-year-old boy, a girl and a boy. So um, it's been a ride. Music, like I remember you were doing reaction on I think Casey and myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, Casey and I are very close.
Oh, nice.
You can tell in the video.
She calls me ma. She calls me mama. She's about your age, and I think there's a lot. It's a long story. That whole thing, when it started, I wasn't the original person that did the duet with her.
Okay.
But when we got together, I had the hesitation of doing it because of the age difference or
Alright.
differences. So I don't know. Things just worked out the way they did. She's such a perfectionist too, Casey, and I'm not. See, that's the problem with me. I'm old school. I wasn't taught how to sing. My mother was actually who passed away 2015. She's actually quite an icon in this country. She's Jamaican Spanish, right? She's
Oh,
she's
wow.
born and raised here, but my grandfather is Jamaican, and she was the first, I guess, brown-skinned woman that made a name for herself here, but as a comedian, because
Right.
of course culturally it's different, right? She looks a little more different than me, but because of that look,
Yeah.
they tend to push her for comedy. But of course, she's got a crazy sense of humor as well, so it
Nice.
worked out for the best. And she sang. She was the queen of rock and roll, like the
Wow.
50s,
Amazing.
60s.
Wow.
Yeah, her name is Elizabeth Ramsey,
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth
and she's the
Ramsey.
only Filipina kind of like with that name. So,
Oh, we're gonna check that
um,
out. You bet.
yes, she can pack a place more than I could.
Wow.
Um, Yeah, she did movies, TV sitcoms, hosted a lot of different things from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s till the 90s.
Ah,
When I came back here from the States, because we were from here and then we went there, and long story, we'll probably tap that later. But when she came back here, she became just more popular than ever.
okay.
And so that kind of, it made me feel stabilized, because I started in the States as
Mm.
Jaya, as a dance artist
Oh,
with
cool.
Stevie B and all those freestyle music. Yes.
Good. How
I
could
don't know if
you
you've heard. Yeah, seriously. So um, coming back home in 96 with my mom just cemented my name together with hers, but I didn't carry our last name, right? Because in the States, I was named Jaya, and my name is Louise Ramsey. It's Maria Luisa Ramsey. It's
It's a
Right.
Maria
great
Luisa
name.
Ramsey.
Maria, right?
A Spanish name. So, yeah, it's been about 30 plus years. I celebrated my 30 something 2 years ago, and still at it. So, anyways, I forgot the question, which there was no
I
question.
don't. I don't think there was one, and I think Jai. I think that was I think that kind of that's what's awesome of the whole idea of kind of having the opportunity to speak with people like you, because
Yeah.
I think one of the things that the reason why we made the podcast, Jai, is because when we're actually from South America, from Venezuela originally,
Yes.
and we were in the music industry since very young in Venezuela. And my biggest pet peeve, Jaya, was that every time we had an interview on TV, they would always cut out my favorite bit. So then, yeah, they would always do it. Like, because you do like a 40-minute interview, and then they only use 50,
Right.
right? And the cool thing about this is, it's kind of like it's a podcast, so it's just everything,
We
right?
can
Everything
talk
goes.
about literally anything and
So
nothing gets cut.
yeah, it's all
No time limit,
no,
right?
like, no,
No.
whatever you want, Jaya, we're here for you.
And I'm an advocate for that. Listen, it's such a an opportunity to have uh speaking to somebody who has so many different influences. Like, obviously, now that you've spoken about, yeah, your main influence in singing, it's so exciting. So just question, like, what was your first initial thought when you decided to go into music? Like, what was that um moment where you said, oh, this is what I'm gonna do?
For a living.
Yeah.
That's a crazy question, because there was no thought of that.
Oh,
Right.
that's
Um,
cool. It was always in you. That's awesome.
oh my goodness. Okay. So my mother, if you Google her, she's such a character, makeup and everything, afro, Um, she was the one that wanted me to follow in her footsteps. Now
I see.
remember, she had three previous kids from previous husband,
Okay.
was
Okay.
African American, right?
All right.
So in her imagination, my mother was an elementary grade graduate, right? Twice grade six. So she says, I mastered the sixth grade. So um, she wanted her legacy to continue through her kids, but none of them could really kind of, two didn't really sing, and the other one, they just fought about a lot of things. So she couldn't make my half sister, break through to the in the industry. First
Right.
in
Okay.
the 70s, it's hard to be black in this country,
Yeah.
even just brown.
Mm.
So my mom was just, fairly blessed. So she saw it in me since I was 1972. I was born in 1970. There was a martial law here. And she just let me be. I would sing, 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 hiding, right? I never showed people I could sing because
Yeah.
I was very shy. And the time came in 1982. No, 1980. I was 10 years old. She made me one of her dancers.
Nice.
Cool.
Dance like 10 years old. I don't want to be on stage. I want to be in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she had an idea. And so she wanted to train and break me through the stage to
Okay.
break the shyness.
Mm-hmm.
Next was 1982. She forces me to sing as her opening act, because every time she performs, she has dancers,
opening act,
acrobats, magicians,
Right.
Oh, cool.
So then me and my partner, Ferdy Cuervas, we would dance. and then I would exit and change for her opening number. And so now her idea was after the dance routine, she would put in someone else, and then I'd come out as an opening singer act.
Okay.
And she called me Louis Ramsey at the time from Louisa.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, great. I don't want to do this, but I got to do it. No training or anything. She put me on stage. Here in the Philippines, we had all the American bases that had different clubs. So she was one of the most in demand artists, and so that was my first training ground. The American base with American crowd and the Filipino wives, and all of them people just kind of they were my eyes and ears. And so my mom never says anything about, oh, you're good, you're this. She just said, okay, now you're ready. I'm like, four?
What am I doing?
Four? Exactly. And so 1980, a dancer, 1982, a singer. 85, she had a booking to go to America, and she wouldn't do it unless I was part of the show.
Awesome.
So
Wow.
I just
She had a
at
lot of
50
faith in you, huh? That's all.
it's crazy because I knew in my heart I could sing. Now back then we only had the cassette recorder with the radio.
Yeah.
So me and Regine Velasquez, I don't know if you know, I
Yeah,
know
Yeah.
you
of
know
course.
her. This is my generation, we're all the same age. So we all have the same training. We would have a transistor radio with the cassette, learn all the songs from the radio, and all of our influences were like the music here was very high end, like
Mm.
Shaka Khan and Earth, Wind and Fire, and George Duke and Diane Reeves. I was like, these are my I showered myself with these music at the same time with our original Filipino music,
I see.
which also had the same sound. So growing up, I knew I could sing, but not wanting it to be a job. I wanted to
Right.
become a nurse.
All
Oh
right. I see.
wow. Okay.
I see. It's
How did that work out for you?
I mean,
I did not become a nurse.
Oh well.
you instead became a very successful singer and a charming individual. That's that. What a story, Jay. I mean, listen to this though. I was thinking about this the other day, and maybe now you've told me the answer. It's like when we check out a lot of different music industries on the channel all over the world. And last week
Yes.
we just checked out Indonesia, and the week before we checked out uh,
African music.
West African music
Yeah.
and East African and South African
Oh,
music, and
yes.
Blessed.
it's crazy to hear so many different takes on so many different genres, right?
Mm.
But one of the industries that has really blown us away is obviously the Filipino industry,
Yeah.
because the singing quality, it seems to be so,
Refined. It's so very
it's
refined.
like people are naturally predisposed to sing there for some reason.
Um, we always get told that it's like a predisposition, like somehow singing is just normal.
Mm.
I know a lot of people that can sing, but I've heard some people that say they can't do it. But in the Philippines, generally, we're music lovers. Um, my era, like I said, growing up in the 70s and 80s, we had a great supply of artists, like from pop to R&B to rap. That was the birth of
Mm.
NWA and Public Enemy, and all these. I grew up in the States partly too, so listening to all these rappers and pop music artists, and then all of a sudden getting into the industry by accident because I ran away from my mom at 18. Stevie B's drummer, if I don't know if you know him, his drummer, musicians, and all dancers were all Filipino Americans.
Oh wow.
Okay.
So I ran away with him, thinking I was just gonna go with him and then maybe go to school. I didn't know I was gonna become a backup singer and musician,
Okay.
playing bass parts for the tour,
Nice.
and then record. I was gonna record for a model. I was gonna be the voice, like how it was with Milli
Yeah.
Vanilli,
Yeah.
whom
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
toured before with. Milli
Wow.
Vanilli,
That's
yeah,
so
touring with them was crazy, but I knew
I
they could.
bet,
I knew
yeah.
they didn't sing. Yeah, we knew they didn't sing, but
Yeah.
that was gonna be my job. But the record label, make a long story short, just thought, I want you to sing something else. And so Stevie B said, sing Anita Baker. And
Okay.
that was my influence too. And so I sang just off of a microphone inside his studio. And the guy said, I'll sign you up. Forget the model. And I'm like, wait, what's
What?
going? I had no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't know what a check was. I didn't know how much dollars were at the, I was just like not really knowing of anything, but God had other plans, I suppose. So at 18, I got signed. In 89, the song If You Leave Me Now, which is a dance song, it went in the top 100, and it was 44 weeks um, not reaching top 40. It was weird. Like I was number 42, 40, no music video. I was just on rotation hour every hour,
Okay.
on the hour, and all these different big time radio stations in America. And I'm thinking, what's going on? I have no idea. What? I gotta go on tour by myself. I start crying. And so then I, just off of 89 and 91, I was on tour with MC Hammer,
Okay.
Stevie B, Expose, name them. They were there. Vanilla Ice.
So
I
cool.
Jesus
was,
Christ.
yep, right. Um, so Rob Bass and all these. I was surrounded by people like the Jets. I just listened to them, and all of a sudden, I'm in the middle of it. I still had no clue. I had
Yeah.
no phone. I had no camera, so I had not much memories.
Yes.
But that was what I did. My teenage life was full of like, what's going on?
Right.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty sure that that must have been wild. I think the thought process. I'm just wondering what was it like to have your own tour for the first time? Because like you said, you probably were feeling a little uneasy because you had toured previously. Like you already knew what touring was like, but with
right.
company, with being with some more people and not being the main focus of the tour itself. So I wonder what that was like the first time that you stood in front of a crowd that was there to watch you. How did that feel like?
um, it was surreal, and like I grew up poor, right? I
Okay.
I know the concept of not having anything.
Mm.
So going on a stage and just thousands of people knowing your song and you, like it always wants to make me cry, and like this isn't real. Tomorrow I'm gonna wake up, it's all gone. But
Mm.
it went
Okay.
on for, it just went on and on and on and on and on until I decided to just stop in 92, right? But it was a long process of club gigs, earning a lot of money. I had three dancers and a manager on the road with me, living with me. So I was a boss at a very early age,
Okay.
clueless of how to run the business. They
Right.
just throw in a lawyer here, an accountant here, and I'm like,
Mm.
you know. So I quit, and but the music that I was doing on stage, the "If You Leave Me Now," I mean, you're dancing, your ears getting deaf. I'm actually clinically deaf on the right ear because of the,
Mm-hmm.
Constant,
night
yeah.
3 to 4 clubs a night,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's tough.
five. Yeah, it was tough.
And and
Um,
and we didn't have in-ear monitors back then.
no, oh my
No.
God, we had side fills that were loud as heck,
Yep.
and the front
And that's
monitor,
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
you
Everything
know.
is crazy
But
loud
but
all
but
the
I
time.
think Jaya, like, I mean, you're probably an advocate for this, but we've discussed it with other artists as well, and it's like there's so much value in experiencing and putting so many repetitions in such hostile environments of music.
Yeah,
Obviously, I'm sure. I mean, our father would probably agree with this as well. He's also having issues with his hearing at the moment. He was a drummer, so
yeah,
it, I'm sure your ears would argue otherwise. That maybe the exposure to that is not so good, but being able to problem solve so fast, adapt to different audio,
yeah,
it's so key. And I think nowadays, what we discussed earlier of like pure musicians, it comes from live performing first,
That's right.
and that kind of experience live and being that carnal true experience of performing live that you can't get in a studio, and that's
right.
essentially what it's like to be a singer and a musician, being live.
Yes. Um, for all the years I've performed, I was able to sing off of a really horrible microphone in some fiesta here, some province somewhere where there's like, rebel soldiers, and the mic is just like, and you
Oh
still have to
God.
sing all these songs that your mom is telling you what, how to sing and what to sing and what to
Yeah.
do. And to really extravagant stages in front of maybe a president or the prince of something, or I've done it all. I've done mall shows, opening up a mall somewhere, touring and Australia, name it. I've been to London. I was there for a tour. Actually dated someone there.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, I love the accent, but he was younger. So it's current. But, this was way back then. But the live on stage experiences I've accumulated over 35 years, singing as a non-pro and a pro, definitely gave me the edge to know how to just be, not to be on stage with, like, say, a younger artist, or an old artist, or someone that's my age, someone with a powerful voice, someone with a very not so I've learned to adjust. And so I love that opportunity that I've had, like all these guys, man, Bugoy and
Jay.
all these young ones,
Yeah.
Morissette and I go to the same church. This is a
Oh,
small
it's awesome.
community. This is a small community of artists here in the Philippines, and we all really get along. We have we always say you have to give respect to your veterans. So whoever is older than us, we say hello, how are you, tita, tito, all of that. And the same now with the younger artists, we also try to teach them that and show them that that's the right thing. So there's so many things I've learned, but I think the most important thing is to be open to all kinds of genre. It cannot be just, oh, I'm just gonna sing this because I'm an R&B artist. No, I'm an artist of whatever it is that you're paying me for, but I do have a specialty.
Okay.
If I have to sing opera, I can. There are a few things in my throat that I can do that people are like, huh? What the hell's wrong with you? How do you know that? I said, I don't know. I just discovered it one day. I just discovered it and I do it. So yeah, I love that's why when you guys do the reactions towards what I've done or what I did to certain things on my voice, I question myself, how the hell did I do that?
Oh.
Listen, that's how I felt when I watch your stuff. Like, there are so many beautiful colors and melismas and things that you do that are so very you. And it's fascinating to me, right? I just think.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. The thing is,
I get embarrassed.
Please don't.
You two are the same. Every time someone compliments Bali, she always does the same. She always kind of gets to be like that.
But it is a bit overwhelming, isn't it?
It is.
I'd say take it and bathe in those compliments.
You were saying, like, what I find really interesting that I'm still yet to crack, like I'm still yet to understand, is like how you guys, how do you discover the things that you could do without being taught, just by listening and replicating? How, like, what is your experimental space? Like, what pushes you to try these things, that's a question for me, because you can do a lot of genres, right? And I think from there you can try to put those colors into something, but there are some things that you can do that I'm like, how do you discover you can do that?
I don't know. So now you're asking me a question that I don't know how to answer. Okay.
So sorry.
No, because I remember growing up in the States, right? That was my first discovery of different styles of music.
Yeah.
Country, pop, rock, heavy metal, name it. So when I'm watching television, say I'm looking at who were my influences? Tears for Fears. MTV was getting big during the 80s.
Yeah.
And I would just sing. And okay. So I'll record it and repeatedly listen to a certain song. And then I'm starting to notice, that's how he did. Oh, that's how she did it. Because I listened to both male and female.
Okay.
And I practice until finally I'm thinking, I'll just do it with my voice. So, and then say Anita Baker, with all my heart, I love you, baby. So I learned her way of coping with her throat, like how she
Uh-huh.
like that's what she did, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's how you do it. So I incorporate that with what I do. Then
Okay.
I mix with, I don't know who else. Like say I love Stephen Bishop.
Ooh.
He's the guy that wrote It Might Be You.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, right? And
Yes.
who would have thought I listened to Stephen Bishop? But I
Well,
love,
it doesn't sound such a crazy thing to me.
like pop folk, stuff like that, or James Taylor. So I'll incorporate that with something. So a certain song that I would be given,
Mhm.
they would say, can you make it sound like this? And I'm like, oh, wait. So I'll look into the proper sound. So that's how I do it. That's why
Okay.
country music I can do a little bit. You just listen
Okay, the
a few
sound.
times,
Yeah.
and so sometimes I do like super gospel because I listen to some of the gospel stations online, and
Mhm.
stuff like that. I guess I love putting myself and dunking myself into different voices.
Mm.
And but at the same time, I know I was able to create my own sound, which is just the normal. Just to me, it's normal to sing whatever it is that I'm singing. Like the one with Casey, the one with Jason D and JR. We just sat down and said, "Okay, sing." And I'm like, Jason, can you teach me some? Hey, JR, can you? Because I love being taught. I love
Yeah.
listening to coaches. I
Yeah.
don't like coming up with my own ideas. So they're like, can you do this? Oh, yeah. I'll try. Okay.
Uh,
So, I listen to whoever. It doesn't matter what age. And so that's how I came up with my voice. But I'm very risky. I
I, I
right.
don't
think
really,
no, I
I don't
think it's
practice.
Ah, I see.
come on. I think that's the pinnacle of practice in what you just described. I think honestly, like but the
So it's
that
more.
openness, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. So it's more like then the approach you kind of have to music is more like a always learning, never
Settling for
never
something.
settling kind of perspective, right? So
Yeah, I'm not hard-headed. I just listen. If you're 15 years old and you've got a great set of pipes and I can't figure out how you're doing it, I'm gonna be
Christopher,
like, can you teach me?
yeah,
Teach me how you do that, or at least can we do a duet? I mean, I'm open, very open.
Well,
sure.
that is so important to emphasize. I think as you get taught in your career, in many different places in the world, you get taught certain ways and like certain recipes for certain sounds, right? And they
Yeah.
teach you this is the way that you should move your larynx to do this, right? And
Yeah.
and then you kind of forget that it's about picking up from your surroundings and the people that are around you and the people
Yeah.
that you naturally admire, right? I
Correct.
You got it. I think that's the way to go. And but it has to come from a very humble place, right? You got to be able to kind of,
Flexible.
yeah, and kind of push your ego aside because it's crazy to think, but a lot of people don't like to be taught. A lot of people get put in their little boxes and they're comfortable there.
Which is
And
interesting
Right.
that you mentioned that you don't want to be stuck in a box. You want to be able to perform everything, yet have a specialty or something. Kind of like this might sound like a random comparison, but it's very similar approaching mixed martial arts. You kind of want to be
Right.
good at everything, but you're also a specialist at whatever you seem to be naturally predisposed to. You enjoy doing the most. You know.
You said it right, Ephra.
um
No, I was just thinking when you guys were talking, I forgot I did a song for a Brazilian
Oh,
with a
nice.
Brazilian band. It's called Iskindolele. It's a dance song for they had it for the soccer some years sometime 90s, because I was married to an American drummer, and he
Okay.
had a Brazilian band, and so they asked me to um, sing this cut, and so I did that. Then I did something else in Japan. I was able to sing in Nihongo, and I was like, I went and recorded by myself to Japan. Didn't know any of these people, but what's his name? Oh my goodness, Ueda, Masaki Ueda. He was like the Stevie Wonder back in the days. Like
Oh
Whoa.
wow.
he had, yeah, he was super famous, dude. Like I was walking in Japan with him, and everyone like, "Ah, they're like bowing to him. Like I said, dude, I didn't know you're that famous. It's like, don't say anything, but I'm not. He was an amazing man who produced an album for me in Japan.
Wow.
Wow.
And yeah, I think it's online somewhere. I only have a copy of the CD, one CD. So I I love to just maybe, I guess it's like one day I want to tell myself, I did that, I did that, I tried that. Oh yeah, I tried that. I did. Oh great, I did so many different things. I just want to be a sponge to all of these great music. I love Yvonne Lins and
Mm.
just I love
Yeah.
percussions. Um, I've met some of the greatest musicians like Paulinho da Costa, and I saw him record, and all these jazz musicians. And I love listening to jazz too, just instruments,
Yeah.
just no vocalists. So I think at the end of the day, you really have to tell yourself that yes, I'm a singer. I've heard different music. I can do them if you just give me a chance.
Mm.
So
Mm.
now I'm using this time to really explore and do other things without the a hold of a record label
And the
or somewhat.
pressure and the
Yeah, no
expectations and
pressure.
everything. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
And
a really good question though. Like, because you've been in both sides of the end, right? So you've been signed, and you have also done a lot of stuff independently. Which one works best for you? Like, we have this constant conversation here at home. Like, what is the best approach? Like, what do people like best? I would love to
especially
hear your opinion
especially
on that.
nowadays, Jaya, where I'm sure you'd agree with this, where technology has taken hold in the last 20 years like never before. And
yeah.
I mean, look at the conversation we're having right now. It would have been impossible if we weren't in the internet era. And
Yeah.
industry, I mean, I think the Philippines has very promising new artists, new generation artists that
Mhm.
will break through worldwide. It's no longer just about countries or regions. it's
Or
it's
language or
it's
anything. Yeah.
everywhere.
Or language, yeah.
Yeah, language. I think you've mentioned it before, Vale. Language. I feel we're in the era of music where language
Is
is no longer a
irrelevant.
barrier.
Mm-hmm.
It's no
That's
longer
right.
a barrier. It really. I mean, look at what Korea, the amazing work Koreans doing with what Korea is
I
doing,
know, right?
and the Philippines. I mean, we've discovered so many Filipino artists, and thanks to translations or just melodies and cadence,
Pure feeling.
we enjoy. Brazil is blowing the hell up with music, and Latin
Oh,
America. Like we got people speaking in Spanish, singing in Spanish here in London, and you're like, what the?
Like what?
Do
When
you,
did that ever
they're
happen?
like, dame más gasolina, and you're like, dude, you know what you're saying? It's
I
like,
like
yeah, and
gasolina.
and they're like, no, but I like it. It's like we're in the era where language is no longer a barrier, and that's obviously awesome. But
It's all about the beat now. It's all about the music.
The
yes,
That's all
feeling
it is.
behind it. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
the
yes.
yeah.
feeling. Yeah.
So seeing what technology has done and all the barriers it has overcome, do you feel now that you've always experienced both in both times before technology was so strong,
Prevalent, yeah.
do you think labels are as an imminent choice for an artist, or do you think independence could be more of a possibility now than ever? What's kind of your thoughts on that idea?
I just had a conversation with an ex dancer of Stevie B over Instagram, and he showed me he was asking me, should I get signed there? Should we send some music there? I
Mm-hmm.
said, you know what? I think in my mind, I'm thinking for their kind of thing, music that they're doing, and they're a bit middle aged like me.
Okay.
I gave an advice of just do it independently. If you can hook yourself up with putting your music on Spotify, I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the best bet. And then you use online social media to pump yourself up. You can pay to post. What do you call that? To boost your posts.
Sure.
Yeah.
It all depends on Okay, so now we're getting into the business of this.
Yes.
Wow, because if you are someone that a TV network has groomed,
Mhm.
and you're maybe in the age of 16 to about 21, 22, to the music industry here, that's good. That's a very good age to start someone to shoot them into stardom.
Mhm.
Okay.
So the goal for a lot of artists here is to get into the music industry, become popular, have like a gazillion followers on social media, and hopefully whoop, cross over acting, doing
Okay.
TV or movies, because then the money comes in.
Right.
Music here doesn't pay diddly squat.
I
Um,
think music in most places in the
It
world,
doesn't
Jaya, you
pay.
probably agree.
oh no
It
no, I'm
doesn't
sorry.
pay that much.
No. It used to make us a lot more money.
Right.
Okay.
But as time went on, social media became bigger.
Yeah.
Then the focus kind of
Shifted.
got redirected.
Yeah.
So I say if you have money and you have the business sense to do this on your own, maybe with a few other people,
Mhm.
do it independently.
Yeah.
Um, don't play the race card, because what you're trying to put out is the music. So the music has to be really amazing.
Okay.
Then you start from there. Because
Awesome.
when I started as Jaya, they did not want to use Louise Ramsey, right? So the
Right.
point was, the boss said, Herb Mollis, the record label executive, said, I don't want you to sound black or white or whatever. I want to put out one name and let
That's
them
what's
guess
up.
what you are.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, let them guess. Okay. But Jaya, by the way, before I shoot the other answer, Jaya was a name that I saw in a TV commercial that my boss said, hey, I want you to change your name.
Think of
There's a
something.
commercial between 12 midnight to 3 a.m. And we both lived in the East Coast. So he said, watch that commercial. There's a kid with a letter something, and she put her name, and it just looked like Jaya. So I see the commercial. It actually is a Filipino girl um, asking her sponsor to give her money for, it's like one of those TV commercials that says, give 25 cents to a child in
Oh, right,
Africa.
right.
Right?
Yeah.
And her name was Jaina.
Jaina.
But the N, she forgot to put. So she has Jaya, and then she has that little thing, and then she put the letter on top, right? To
Ah.
say that it's Jaina. But the thing that you see is Jaya. So I said, yeah, that's the word, Jaya. Is that the name you want me to use? Oh, yes, that's it. Jaya,
Let's
we're going to
go.
sign up. A year later, I'm buying my dancers some outfits in New York, in some really cheap store, and it was owned by an Indian guy. And so I go in and I say, "Hey, how you doing? We're just gonna buy some stuff here." And I said, "Hey, by the way, is there a word in your language that's Jaya or Haya?" Oh yeah, there is a word like that in our language. It's called yeah, I literally was like, this Jaya means victory or peace. Every time
Nice.
there's a rally or a demonstration, they scream Jaya.
How cool.
And I'm like, what? Jaya means peace or victory. And victory kind of really stood out. But anyways, that's what the name says.
That's so
And
cool.
carrying that along, I never dreamt of being a singer. So I think sometimes your name will carry you through
Mm.
stages in your life. It,
Mhm.
it's it God uses it for something. I forgot, it's in the Bible. But anyways, he uses you and he will change you, either your name or your whatever.
Yeah.
He changed my name. So, like I said, I never wanted to become a recording artist, given to me. I come home here because I was forced to come home
Yeah.
by my mom's contemporary. I was an opening act. She says, I love your voice. She's Spanish. She's actually 100% Spanish. Pilita Corrales.
Oh
She
yes.
right? She brings me home. I'll be your manager. Don't worry about everything. I'll take care of you. I'm like, I'm not gonna make it there. I'm dark. I have curly hair. It's Filipinos. No, no.
They're
You
gonna love
will.
you.
Yeah, I will. I will take care of you. Lo and behold, I come home. This is what happened. So whether or not you want to do a recording, you want to be on, you want to do it independently. It's not for you to say. It's
Mm.
really your destiny. It's gonna be something that you will leave out to God to tell you what you're gonna do. So that's how I did it. I was just, I'm always saying no, but I'm always given a recording deal, an album, hit songs, platinum records. Okay, do this. Okay, do that. It's just like, and I'm getting overwhelmed, and I'm thinking to myself, who's doing this? So if
Yeah.
there, right, if there are artists out there who want to do an album, be signed by a record label, or to be whatever you want to be, surrender it, because that's the only way you're gonna know what is what destiny belongs to you. So that's how I did it. So I really, it's hard for me to answer.
It's true though,
That,
but I agree with that because everybody's story is so different and like there's not set recipe for that. So I
no,
agree. So I obviously I asked the question because you are such a pinnacle example of you can do both, and it's all about finding your own journey. And listen, it's
yes,
amazing.
Well, it's also I think the reason why especially you're interesting to me, Jaya, is because we also spoke to Gary a few days ago, Gary Valenciano, and
my friend,
what you guys have in
my
common
brother.
is that you've been doing this longevity in the industry. It's very difficult,
And it's a rare thing.
very difficult to do this for 20 plus
I grew,
years.
I grew up watching him.
Wow,
That's
I
crazy.
grew up watching him.
he's
Crazy,
crazy.
right?
Yeah, no, but he is like that guy is beyond me. Like he's so advanced. Yeah, he's like even
I know.
when we were speaking and we were just kind of just chatting, vibing really, and then the way he expresses his ideas, how he composes, and
Hmm.
the way he sees the world and his calling, it's like holy moly! There's like, what are you? Are you an alien?
He's
Like you're not.
not human being.
Yeah,
He's not a human
that's
being.
an angel. He's
He's an
literally an angel.
alien.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's,
it's fascinating, and I honestly truly admire how close all of you artists are together and how willing you are to give support to each other. That community sense in the Philippines, I say it often, but it just really marks me because what would anyone give in the industry to be that close to the people that you looked up to, the people that you grew
Right.
watching, and once you make your way into the industry, you are now able to establish connections with the people that you
Right.
grew up modeling, right? It's a fantastic it's a fantastic community. You guys are very blessed.
is that what you feel
Thank you.
your calling is now, Jaya, kind of like guiding the next generation or of singers, or what's
Um,
the future for you? Because I mean, you're still singing, you're still
I
making
mean,
music.
you can carry on making music. I mean, please do.
well, thank you. Wow. I'm overwhelmed with all your questions and all these great things that you're saying. All I know is that I'm going to be singing until I guess I can't do it anymore, right? I mean, there's going to be a time when it's my daughter's turn, and she's doing it all on her own. She writes songs, she plays guitar.
What's your daughter's name,
She
Jaya?
her name is Sabria.
Sabrina.
Sabria,
Sabrias.
Sabria, yeah. Unique. She has her own unique gifts. She does more than I could. But for me, singing now is yes. I I was told humility. With all humility, I'm saying this. I was told because we were arguing. I was arguing with a friend. Like they were telling me, "You don't sound like anyone. You don't. It's hard to sing your songs." I said, "No, it's not hard. It's hard for me to come up with these songs. I don't even know how I'm doing it." But I said, and they were saying that um, you've left us because when I came here, that's when really artists became braver in doing R&B.
Hmm.
But I wasn't coming out as an R&B. I just R&B artist. I just said, I want to sing. Oh, you want me to sing it that way? Okay. So I did everything that they were asking me to do, and it just came out that way. And all I want is for people to be more risky. Look, you only have one chance in this industry. Do what you feel suits you. Don't sound like someone else if you can't do it. But if you know how to incorporate all these different sounds and come up with something different, so be it. Go. Good luck to you. So for me, I'm just always influencing, especially these contenders in the competition,
Mhm.
singing competition that we judge on ABS-CBN. I'm always telling them on the side, um, work on your breathing, or when you're doing I'm always telling them what to do, like when you're doing the runs, right? Breathe and save it on your face, here on your cheek, here, feel this right here, there. You see that? Now I'm telling you this because this is what's gonna work for that. So I'm always just trying to impart what I've learned through the years for free, so that hopefully one day they'll think, you know what, that's what I need to do for others. Because a lot of these artists sometimes that I see are just all about the bling, the money, the influence, the how many followers. It's not about that. It's what are you leaving as your legacy, and what can you impart so they can also becomes, big artists or
Yeah.
whatever. um you just want to leave your heart and your soul to those who might one day need that help, because it's not all about the money. Money will go. Dude, I've
That's
made
right.
a lot, and one time I was just like, what the heck happened to my money? And it's like, it's just material things. What's important is I was blessed to have been given songs that became movie theme songs. Um, I don't even know how that worked, but um, I told my daughter I will die and people will still know the name Jaya, maybe, but more the songs.
Yeah.
They will remember the songs, and that's good enough for me. And so for those artists who are really trying to make it in this business, just be you, just be real. If you can't do it, get out of it, because
Mm.
you don't want to be in an industry that you feel like it's not accepting you. Maybe it's not for you, right?
That's important.
There's
Yeah.
also that fine line of, am I really for this or not? For me, I always said I don't want to be in it. I just kept landing in it. So maybe it was really my destiny. And so now I just want people to, I don't know, get a piece of me in more ways than one, right?
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
it's friendship on Instagram, I'm always like messaging some of the fans, whatever, or
Yeah. I
teaching
think
them how to. Yeah, go
and
ahead, go ahead.
no, it's amazing. I don't mean to interrupt. I think you can talk for hours. I would listen. I wouldn't
You
mind.
know, while we're talking, I'm just staring at you guys. You guys look so fabulous.
Oh,
You look
thank you.
like true. What is? And here I am in my,
You look
tropical.
amazing. I don't know what you're talking about. You look great.
Jaya, I wish I wasn't having to wear so many clothes and I could wear what you're wearing.
Yeah,
Because
it's
here
so
in
cold
London
in
we're
here.
freezing, mate.
It's so cold in here. Uh,
Right now, it's cold.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're like at
It's
6 degrees or something like that. It's cold.
holy monkey. Oh my goodness.
We're,
No,
we're
it's
at
hot
we're at
here.
we're at 10. Yeah, we're at
Oh
10
well, 10
degrees.
degrees. There you go.
But it's
We
Not too bad.
are 80 something degrees
Oh,
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit. So it's like what, 25 degrees
20. Yeah,
Celsius?
something like that.
28?
28, maybe
28, yeah.
27.
Oh my god, I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
It's so
Oh, yeah.
cold.
All right, mate. Don't rub it in. Here when people
Oh,
go
sorry.
here when people go to the beach, Jaya, they wear jackets.
Yeah,
When we go to the beach, you
because
wear welly boots and jackets.
oh,
That
cause
is not how you're meant to go to the
no,
to the beach with.
no, definitely.
Insane.
Yeah.
It's
Insane.
crazy.
Have you been to the coast here in England? Ever?
No, I was just in London,
City.
somewhere
Yeah.
there. I don't even remember anymore. But
Yeah.
it was fun. We went to a club. Okay,
Nice.
is there a club there with like 2 or 4 different rooms?
I mean, every
Every
club
club looks
in
like that.
London is like that at the moment. Yeah, I don't know how it was like when you went, but now every club, Jaya, is
It's like
literally
that.
It's
3-4 rooms.
That play different
it's
music in each room.
yes, it
Yeah.
starts with an M, letter M.
Ooh, clubs here change names all the
Because
time.
they go bankrupt really fast.
They change ownership. Yeah,
No,
they
serious.
do.
Yeah,
They,
That's
they
crazy.
change
they go broke real
ownership.
quick.
They change ownership like really quickly. So management always changes and
Do
they
you
change.
remember maybe the area? Like, was it close to maybe like Piccadilly Circus, or was it
Like
close to like
Trafalgar.
Soho?
Old, I can't even remember. All I remember was the guy I was riding with.
That's the best one though. Nobody can replace that. That's the way to go.
So
And
we
every time they asked the question, hey, excuse me, could you give me the address? Blah, blah, blah. And he would always say, hey, thanks, cheers, or thanks,
Cheers, mate.
superstar. I'm like, a superstar? I'm not that
Superstar.
either.
I love
Fine, fine.
I love the 80s London. It was a vibe.
No, that was nine. That was nine. Wait, 2000 and
Okay.
one.
Oh,
Maybe?
nice.
All right, so maybe not so
No,
different.
not so
Yeah, maybe not
different.
so
Yeah.
different.
You
Yeah.
know, I was just gonna.
Hold
Yeah.
on, we do have planned there, Jaya. Once the everything opens up, JR's gonna come down clubbing, and a bunch of all other fellas. You're
You gotta
welcome,
come.
Jaya.
You gotta come.
Come join.
You guys.
You
don't
gotta
be
come clubbing
disappointed.
with us.
No, 'cause
Okay,
I wanna.
well, I might be a little older then,
No,
but hey,
come on. You would have such a blast.
let's exchange numbers because soon I'll be living in the US.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yep,
Yeah,
it's easier to fly, I think, from the US to the UK, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
No
don't
clue.
really know. It's like 14 hours from Manila to here.
So in the US, I think it's probably like 7,
7, yeah, probably
6,
like
7.
8, 7 hours.
Only if I'm coming in from New York. But if
Ah,
I'm coming from the West Coast all the way to New York, then don't worry. Give me your numbers.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, clubbing
Um,
time, Jaya. Anyways, what were you saying? There, buddy?
I was just, going back to music because I mean, I have you here. I have to ask all the questions.
Sure.
I hope you don't mind.
No, I don't.
Cool. How do you approach the composing and the writing part of things? Like what is your
Oh.
yeah, like
Process.
do you have like a set things to do that ignites inspiration, or do you just go and like, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm gonna do?
I've only written one song.
Okay.
Interesting.
Everything is written for me, or I've asked the songwriter to give me a song. And my daughter writes a lot, and she's 14, and
Wow.
I'm talking legitimate stuff. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, when are you going to start writing for real? I think for me, might not be a great talent of mine, but for most, you should really tap into writing
Mm.
because not only it's a great idea to put into your resume, but it will earn you money.
Yeah.
It will earn you a lot of money. And so um, I think I'm going to try and write a few more songs before I really quit. But I'm trying not to do this kind of music anymore. I'm I've got some ideas and I'm gonna write them down and I'm gonna produce them. But definitely people are gonna be like, what is that? You
Who
know,
cares? I'll listen.
Yeah. Well, you're
sappy love songs, very, very chill.
nice.
Mm.
Well,
Experiences.
if you do produce them, then send them through. We'll absolutely check them out on the channel. We'd love to. It'd be awesome.
100%.
Give me a few years.
No rush. We're
Fine.
here for
We're
it.
planning here to stay. But
Y'all are young. Y'all are young.
you do make a good point though, because we see all these artists like Bruno Mars. He was a writer before. And Megan Trainor was a writer before. The artists that are dominating right now.
Charlie Puth was
Charlie
a writer
Puth,
before.
Katie was Taylor Swift wrote before.
Taylor
as well a
Swift.
bit. So it's definitely a good thing to develop early. I mean, impressive by your daughter that she's writing so young and so much. That's so you can
Thank
tell
you.
it's like, given or not, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a God gift. That's so you can tell writing's one of those
Yes.
things.
Yes. For her, I think the songwriting, I'm not sure where it came from, but my husband now, he was a rapper. He,
There it is.
he at one point. So he's such a,
Lyricist. Yeah.
lyricist. The instrument playing for her, I think, is from my father and mother. My father was also a singer and a bass player of my mom.
Nice.
She was crazy. Honey. Woo! But and he was 12 years younger. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah, that's the way we do it.
But songwriting is definitely one of those things that a lot of singers should consider.
Yeah.
Um, not only like I said, you can write for other people. That's kind of what I want to do. Just be a lyricist. They can take care of the melody. Just submit, words and then put it all together.
So then, because we're noticing this sometimes with some of the artists we've checked out on the channel where they get given the lyrics, or the producer or the label kind of brings them, a writer, and then kind of discuss
Mhm.
what's that process like. Because I've never experienced that myself, where we've had to kind of perform a piece
So that has been
that
given.
has been given
Mhm.
to you, and then how do you kind of match the writer's vision, and what's that process like for you when
You guys write your own songs?
yeah.
Yeah.
See, you're blessed.
Well, to be honest though, Jaya, when we were touring as kids in a kids band in Venezuela
Right.
for
We were
about
given everything.
10 years, everything
Everything
was
was
given
given.
to us.
Mhm.
You know,
So
Wow.
we didn't have any of that creative freedom, if you would like to speak
just
to
this
it.
is
Like,
it,
Yeah.
yeah,
perform it.
and we all, especially for me, I think I was older than Efra. You were still too young, but that matching, checking up with the idea of the original composer and writer was always really challenging. Like, you gotta match those expectations of the original song, how, and still and still put your own flavor to it. And I always used to find that really difficult. How did you go about that?
Uh, so uh, the songwriters would have their song,
Hmm.
and they give it to me in a demo form. Usually it's just a guitar and them singing it. So I'm thinking, I hate this song. And then I go in the studio and the whole thing is done in the studio, already ready for me to put my voice on. And I'm like, wait, I
That's the same
haven't really.
song.
Yeah, same song. And I haven't practiced. What are you guys doing? They're like, take your time. We're going to go outside for a smoke and come back and see what you've done. So they leave it to me.
Oh wow.
Ah.
Um, and then this was before the first few albums. And then there was a time when I said, no, give me the demo. Give me they give me the music without the voice. So
Yeah.
it's already done.
Hmm.
I practice a few times, but really I don't. And then I go in the studio. Yeah, I go in the studio and I say, can you just give me like maybe an hour just to warm up my throat and sing this, sing this, sing this. So I didn't know that they would record it.
Oh.
They just recorded. And so they're like, okay, we'll pick up some from what you've done earlier because you did some crazy things there. But okay, go ahead. Now you can sing.
Right.
I'm like, great. But yeah, they just give me the freedom vocally. But me, like I said, I like having a vocal coach tell me, am I flat, sharp, because of my
Mm.
right ear, right? So I sing and then I have sometimes the headphone. I don't want it on my ears, but I have to have it on my ears.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult to do recording. I love live shows
Mm.
rather than recording. So yes, they just give me the freedom to do the vocals. And then when I request for a vocal coach, that's when I do it because I want them to teach me the backup parts. So then, you know, I love doing backup vocals,
Oh nice.
harmony.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love
That's
Nice.
doing those things.
amazing. That is so cool. That is really cool. I think sometimes having that creative space that is safe for you,
Mhm.
it's where you feel safe. Not that at
Yep.
the actual environment, but the studio itself, where you feel comfortable enough to, experiment, be wild, try to find tricks you never know
Yeah.
to. It's really important. Yeah, it's really important because then you get the maximum expression of yourself through
Yes.
that space that you have been given. It's really cool.
Right.
Yeah.
You know how sometimes you're singing and there are just these notes that come in and you're
Yep.
like, wait, let me try that. I don't know if my throat can handle it, but wait, let me try it. And then that's why when I record, they know to record. Just press that button because something will come out and then I'll just, oh, I can't remember. No, we have it here. Listen
Yeah.
to it. Practice it. I'm like, how did
Oh,
I
there
do
you go.
that? So yeah, I love the spontaneity of recording too,
Mm.
because that's how you really kind of know how to push and go for what you've got. Because sometimes your voice just doesn't feel like it. Just no, it's not a good day. Can I go home? Come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're nice to me like that. But most of the time, I'm usually working with the producer closely, and I tell them, tell me if I'm flat, sharp, am I rushing? How do you want me to say the verses? Do you want it, or you want it, you know, give me what you want,
Yeah.
and then I'll try to deliver it. Now, if you don't want that, we can do something else.
Yeah, you kind of
I'm like that. I cater.
align more,
Yeah.
yeah, with their vision. I like that idea actually, just pressing record and being free.
Yeah.
That's what I, yeah, because I think that's it would fit behind this idea of you're putting yourself in kind of miracle territory where magic might happen. You know?
Yeah, it's like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Literally.
Because sometimes you do some crazy shit and you're like, oh, I like that. You know, I like that. Let's do it again. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I'm easy. I'm easy to work with. But sometimes, you just have these people that are telling you what to do, and you're like, I'm not a machine.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't. I'm an alto. Okay, I'm an alto. I can't do soprano the way you want me to do it, but they're like, no, you can do it. Like,
Push, go on. Crazy. Yeah. Talking about that, like the pressures that naturally set due to notoriety, and vocal expectations of people. How did you handle that? Because there's
Like
always
pressure.
no, yeah, and like expectations, like, oh, what's gonna be next for Jaya, or like what is the
Yeah.
new sound or something. How did you manage that?
Well, if you're signed to a record label, they're gonna want to up the other hit. So
Mm.
Hmm.
if you're doing this, they want this here, and then they want another hit. And it's like, no, it can't be. That's impossible. So after fighting with I don't put the pressure on me, right? So what I did was, okay, we'll do albums for as long as you want me to do the album, and then when you're done with me, I'm cool. No expectations anymore, right? So
Okay.
we just did albums here and there and everywhere, and after a while they started to notice I wasn't happy with what they were delivering, because I was suggesting other songs. Like, let's
Okay.
just do revival materials. Like, let's just do what is that? When I sing, like, say, I'll just sing an Anita Baker song,
Okay.
redone, or let's do. I have had albums like that. It was a thing here for like a few years.
It was also a
So,
thing in South America. Like it became very
oh
popular in South America. Like Luis Miguel and Christian Castro,
yes,
they used to do like really old folkloric
Yeah,
songs that
Mark
people,
Anthony as well, right? Did it for a
yeah,
while.
yeah, and so they would remake them and rearrange
remix,
them,
yeah,
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 and make a whole album out of them. So that
yeah.
was
We
very
did that.
popular.
Yeah, we were able to do that, and I was happy with the stuff that I did. um I think, like I said, I've come to a point now where I just, actually, my ideas are to listen to all the artists that I enjoy, that I know have had hit songs,
Hmm.
Okay.
but grab stuff from their albums that have never become hit songs, but I'm loving, right?
Uh-huh.
Because right now it's an open space for anything.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah,
goes.
yeah.
So I'm thinking, man. Oh, do you know Jacob Collier?
Jacob
Yes.
Collier,
Oh
yeah, of
my
course.
God, of course.
He graduated from, I think he went to
Berkeley
Berkeley Music School.
University, yeah,
Yeah.
in music. That
That
man is
Dude,
wild.
yeah, if you like Jacob, this is an artist that toured with him.
She
She toured with him, and she also went to Berkeley.
yeah, she was his
Who's this?
Her name is Maro, Maro. She speaks
Maro.
in Portuguese and also English. Dude, her music is
Ah,
insane, and she toured with Jacob.
is she
Uh,
on Spotify?
I
I'm not
don't
sure. I
know.
think she's very small, but she's been doing
Wait,
this for a while. Maro,
is this is this her?
Uh, I think it might be. I don't know. Let me see.
It's black and white.
Is Can you see any of her songs?
You
Mi
will?
Condena, Walk Above the City,
What?
Now Fa Sentido.
Yeah, that's it.
Midnight.
That's her.
Yeah.
That's her.
Listen
Yeah.
to her stuff. It's absolutely insanity.
Wait, did she sing with him on what's that one performance he did? It was like in a bookstore or a library.
Oh,
Tiny Desk.
Tiny Desk
Maybe.
concert. Yes.
Maybe she was a backing vocalist for
Yeah,
him there.
She was.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
She was
She's
also
insane.
she's
Good.
fantastic, and her jazzy qualities are absolutely beautiful. But you should also she
She,
was also the backing vocalist for Jessie J like a few years back as well. So
she's class. She's
yeah.
class. But if you like a Jacob, you'll definitely like her. I'd
Mm.
say like listen to
Yeah.
If I Leave by her, or maybe
What
still
was that again? What was
if I
that
Marrow,
again?
Marrow, the
Marrow.
same, the
If I
same.
Leave,
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's on this.
yeah, listen to that
If
track.
oh no, wait. It's not on it. Why isn't it there?
That's
If I leave. I'll look for it. All
yeah,
right.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can
If
send it to
I
you. I'll send
leave.
it to you on Instagram. You can check it out.
Oh, there, I got it. But
Yeah.
Ah, there you
send
go.
me some.
It's very good. It's so instrumental heavy, and her vocals are amazing. And, oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah, so what you were saying about nowadays taking the time to make an album or music that is experimental, grabbing from your different influences, it's there's a market for it
Oh
right
yeah,
now online and everywhere. Like that's the cool thing about the evolution of music and the industry of music right now. At least that's where I stand with it,
hmm
right? That I think there is such a there's opportunities for every type of
I agree.
musician right now, and so
Well, I'd like to ask you a question,
yeah,
guys.
go for it.
So, as far as music, with the two of you, are you working together as a team
Mm.
and doing this for a living now still, or are you doing other things apart from each other,
Well,
music wise?
nowadays we are working together in music again. We took a break when we moved to London. Efra had to go back to high school, and I had to go to college. So
Well, good, because when we were in Venezuela, it was TV, touring, music, interviews, and we
live shows all the
and we
time.
missed that in school quite a bit. You know.
We had to do schooling like
That's right.
So
from
then when we came to London, I went to high school. I skipped a year, but I did like I don't know what you'd call it in
eighth
America.
grade from forward, like
It's like
ninth grade forward,
yeah, from ninth grade to 11.
senior year. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
You
I did
got accelerated.
yeah, I skipped one year. Yeah. So
He
Oh,
got pushed one
and
year.
trust me, mate, it's not
yep.
because I'm smart. It's not why I skipped.
How could you say that?
Nah, no way.
Ah.
But anyway, so I went to high school, and then ballet went to theater school.
Yeah, so I went to college to study performing arts, and well, that includes music history and
Right.
vocal techniques and like the history of theater itself and dancing. And so we really like went on separate ways for a while, and Efra went then into
That's the funny thing. I then
sports.
stopped doing music, and I went full time with tennis.
Hmm.
I started training to go on
That's
Wild.
amazing.
tennis, yeah, on the
Crazy.
pro tour, and I didn't end up in the pro tour because kind of somehow magically we decided to
Come
come
back
back to
together.
music,
Hmm.
and then I was like, dude, I saw this.
Destiny.
Maybe I don't know, Jaya. Hopefully you're correct. And maybe yeah, it just feels good, to do this. Also, the YouTube also is very enjoyable to me, and
Hmm.
I mean,
Well, congratulations. You guys have a lot of followers on YouTube.
Thank you.
Hello.
Well, thanks to your wonderful music,
That's right.
amongst the many people that we watch, you guys are a part of this as much as we
You know
do.
how many people that kind of follow us that are ginormous fans of you, Jaya, like
Literally,
ginormous.
they would message us saying, "Oh my God, you gotta get Jaya on the podcast. We would love to hear her speak to you guys." And
Are you
I'm
serious?
not
for
joking.
real, for real.
I'm gonna send you a message. It was the same with JR when he came on. Everyone was a holy
It's
shit.
my neighbor.
No way! Oh, he's great. I love him. He's
Yeah.
fantastic.
So
I
I'm
love
serious.
that
People
guy.
are genuine like lovers of
That's
your
Yeah.
work
amazing.
and your stuff. So
Oh,
it's you're definitely part of the journey in some way.
Absolutely.
oh, hug. Oh.
Yeah. So
I'm
then we
gonna visit y'all there. I swear.
Absolutely.
absolutely. This house is open for you guys to come by anytime.
That's your house?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my house.
Is that your living room?
Yep.
Yep.
That's the
I
that's
thought
the
it was
couch
just a
that
part
everybody.
of a room.
No. This is part of like this is the living room, the couch where everybody comes to chill at. This is it.
Ah,
My original dream is for you guys to whoever comes to the podcast to actually come to the house. You get Venezuelan food. You got a bit of a vibe.
I love. Okay, wait. You have plantains?
Yep.
Yes.
You have black beans?
Yep.
Yes. And we got something called arepas that is stuffed with all of that goodness.
Yeah, it's like kind of like it's cornbread, but
Oh,
and then you put all that stuff inside. It's
man.
brilliant. Yeah, yeah.
Ah, yeah, you would love it.
Because I love Cuban food. I love Cuban
Oh,
food.
Very
So
similar.
it would be first time for me to eat Venezuelan food.
Yeah, well, that's kind of my dream when kind of things keep going the way they are, and hopefully the whole
go
pandemic
back
sorts
to
itself
normal
out.
somehow.
Yeah, for
It
you,
will end. Don't
yeah,
worry.
for
it
everyone
will.
to
It will.
to
Yeah.
come, and then we can yeah just enjoy this in person. Because Zoom is cool, but it's so much better when you're in person talking to someone.
Definitely.
And then maybe we can sing together.
Oh
Absolutely,
yes!
be
Oh
an
my
honor.
god!
Come
I
on.
would die.
If I can still sing by then. So
Oh, you will.
Tell me, tell me about the whole judging thing you're doing in that show. What's the show called?
okay. So in this country we have noontime shows,
Okay.
Hmm.
and they're very popular. A lot of the households grew up watching noontime shows, and this particular one, it's called It's Showtime.
Okay.
And Vice Ganda, who has I don't know how many millions of followers now on YouTube. He's a very big gay icon artist here, actor, comedian. He is now the main host of that show. And in the middle of the show, after the opening, and then they chit chat and they do all those stuff, fun games. Then we have Tawag ng Tanghalan. It's like a call to perform,
Okay.
call to compete. That's kind of what it means, I think, in Showtime. So we have a few judges that critique the contenders. So I'm the head judge. If not me, another icon in the music industry named Louis Ocampo.
Okay.
So it's either him, he's a composer,
Oh, nice.
arranger, musical director. So if it's not him, it's me. Because the other ones are, or Ogie Alcasid, Regine's husband.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, sometimes I'm just a normal judge. And then what we do is we have contenders that compete. And so, say I'm tasked to do one person, and then I tell how the performance,
When?
how the performance went. What was she or he flat, sharp? What
What
needs
you
to be
like
done?
performance?
Yeah,
Yeah.
or did I love the
Yeah,
performance?
yeah, yeah.
Usually they're great, but sometimes you just say, you maybe were nervous, so you were a bit shaky in some parts. But you know what? You can do that. I'm always trying to be positive,
Mm.
because it's hard to tell people you sucked on that song, right? I'm not. If somebody told me you sucked on that song, of course I take it. I'm used to being told that,
Yeah.
even on social media. But for most people that are not in this business, somebody says, "Oh man, that was a horrible performance." That person's gonna want to die, right? It's gonna be like, "I don't want to sing ever again." But
Yeah.
we try to be very positive, and that's the kind of competition that we judge,
Are
and
they?
it's fun.
Do the people
Sounds fun.
that go on the show? Are they like?
Do they? It's like a casting call. Do they audition before getting into the show?
Audition.
Or, yeah.
All
Yes,
right.
they have to audition, and some of them have done singing jobs, like in restaurants, clubs,
Okay.
bars,
Okay.
theater,
Mhm.
all what do
All
you call this?
around.
All genre, all
Mhm.
man, woman, whatever. We also have had just normal folks that felt like they could sing and they wanted to go in, and for the most part, they're really amazing. Like
Nice.
farmers, fishermen, and I'm
That's
like, what
crazy.
kind of fish are you taking and eating? Because that voice,
Yeah.
Yeah.
wow,
It's
yeah,
always
pretty
it's always
amazing.
entertaining, isn't it? When you find like shows like this, when you kind of find someone with like an awesome story. It's, oh, I used to work in a market, and then I kind of just always sang as I was mopping the floor or something. And then they go
And
sing in the show, and then they blow you away. You're like, what
Yeah,
the?
they sing Whitney Houston, chilling.
seriously, and we stand up, we give them a standing ovation. But now we're not allowed to be in the studio. We're doing online judging,
Oh wow,
so it's
bit tough with
horrible.
the
We have
audio
no
now, yeah.
audience.
I was gonna ask you how has that affected you, like personally? How do you feel with the whole
Online gigging.
online gigs and stuff?
No. Honestly, I'm not gigging.
Right.
What I'm trying to sell my house.
Ah,
That's why I'm still here. And I think someone wants to buy the house. And once this is done, I'm gonna go to the States and just hopefully do gigs there because a lot of the a lot of the places states have opened.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, but
Yes.
here, a lot of people do in how do you say
Online
that? Like
concerts?
online
Yeah.
concerts and or ads or commercials.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna do one soon. Like I'm wearing this diabetic sensor because I'm
Okay.
diabetic.
Okay.
So something for that, and that's gonna happen soon. And then I'm coming out with this company for a skincare
Oh.
product, and it really worked for me. I was like, "What the heck is going on, my man?" I'm like hardly wear anything,
Look,
and I'm
it's
like, "Oh,
gorgeous. Absolutely
hey,
fine.
let." So
Honestly, drop the name sometime soon. I will be buying that. If I
I
could look
no no
like
no
you.
I will ship one for you. I
Oh,
just
you don't have
yeah.
to.
No, I'll ship one for you. You don't have to pay for it. But I want to ship it when I'm in the States because I don't know how much it'll cost or how far it'll get from here to there. So, yeah, don't worry. You have to email me your address.
I will do
Guys, use it too. So,
it.
like I said, I'm trying to do other things. I'm praying to God that He'll give me the wisdom to write a book because I want to share my life.
Ooh.
It hasn't been easy. It's not. It still isn't easy. But I'm blessed to be living rather than be on the other side of the spectrum of doing drugs and this and that. I have been just protected, and I want to share why and how and what happened to me then and now. And so I'm gonna write a book, and I don't know, man. I I miss singing. I miss
Yeah.
singing. And I don't sing at home. I don't hum, I don't do none of that. Oh, by the way, I'm also recording. I forgot. um it's a worship song.
Oh,
Yeah, I
nice.
forgot. I just remember now. I'm doing one for Wish Bus,
Nice.
Okay.
and yeah, they're doing an album. They're coming up with a project, and they asked me to sing one of the worship songs that they chose. And then what else? What else am I doing?
Well, that's a bit of singing,
Cooking,
though, isn't
doing
it?
laundry.
that,
Huh?
Like everybody else.
that's a bit of singing there,
Yeah,
though, isn't it? Like for Wish, that's a bit of singing. That's good.
yeah. They're very instrumental for a lot of us artists who are trying to get ourselves out there in the world,
Yeah.
and just to be invited in that
It's good.
bus.
Yes.
It definitely it put me out there. Um,
Ah.
Collaborating with KZ put me out there. Collaborating with JR and Jason put me out there because these guys are amazing. They're young, they have a fan base, and you guys are instrumental in putting me out there. I didn't know people were doing reaction videos, and I'm like I said, destiny, right? Somehow I'm being guided and pushed to go in different places through you people, angels in our lives. Um, there are many of you that are being used as well to maybe enrich us who are almost unknown, right? So if not for you guys, I'm ready to just be a mom. Um, but I guess it's not the end. So I thank you for um, saying all those kind words, and just you put me out there.
Yeah, I
I
think you'd really be. It seems I think you'd really be surprised by the amount of people, dude, that like message us about you and like some of the videos that
Your
we've checked
work.
out for you and stuff like that. And I'm
Mm.
I'm so looking forward to kind of
Diving in deeper
re-
to your discography
and
and
also
finding out.
releasing the podcast obviously, and then seeing people's awesome reaction to it, and I think you'll really be surprised at how awesome like people really like your work, and I've enjoyed so much both of your past work and and some of your recent work.
Yeah, it's really amazing. I think
You're being too modest,
yeah, I think so
or
too.
perhaps giving us too much credit. I don't know.
Also true.
Yeah.
No, the credit is all yours because I'm serious, man. I've been in this industry for so long, and for people like you to just go and have a show and say kind words about other artists, knowing that you two are artists as well. I don't know if that's really easy, but for me, when I'm used to being bashed, I'm the odd one in this industry here in our country, and it's the funniest thing. But I'm so used to it. I'm so used to not given a lot of the spotlight, which is great. I love it because I get to go to the grocery store, I get to go to the
Yeah.
wet markets, do my own laundry. You know, I get to be normal.
Yeah.
I'm not, I drive. I literally don't have an assistant.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess that's really what I was wishing for. Have the name so that I can make money out of it as a living, right?
Yep.
Be it my bread and butter. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I want to be normal. Go to Walmart, go to Disneyland, or go wherever I want to go and not be hassled.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love that God gave me a name, but yet gave me the freedom.
Yeah,
So I have
Well,
both.
definitely a blessing.
definitely, yeah. I was gonna say that's definitely a blessing. I think a lot of people seek that after encountering success in the industry, because it becomes overwhelming, and it kind of like
Yeah.
you can see that it kind of detaches people, right, from
Mm-hmm.
reality, from the world itself,
From
and
being human, because being human is going to Walmart, is going to the shopping mall, is
is
driving.
Exactly.
and I don't know, but there is this British singer, Mahalia. She is amazing. She does a lot of like,
I've heard of her.
yeah,
Wait.
she's got
Yeah.
It's very
really
good.
beautiful soul and R&B work. It's really
How
wonderful.
do you spell Mahalia?
As in
Yeah, Mahalia. Yeah.
yeah,
Mahalia.
that,
Is this
yeah,
her?
that's her. And she was speaking because she encountered success really suddenly. She had been making music for a really long time, and suddenly one of her songs blew up, and all came rushing in, right? So labels, tour, everything came rushing in. And she said that she used to find it so overwhelming, the fact that she couldn't find inspiration while she was doing her laundry, like the small little things in her daily life were taken away.
Go to the
And
shops. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so I we never really experienced it to that extent, but we did know what it was to be kicked out of malls because it was too distracting, or being segregated to little sections just because people were approaching us and we were children. And but
I think it was also peculiar as well because we were kids,
yeah, we
so
were children, so
Yeah.
it,
How'd you feel about that? What went into your
our
minds?
parents did a really good job of making it like a normal thing. It's like, they never really made a fuss of it. Like they never really made a, oh, stand there, pose or something. No, they no,
be completely honest, mate. I just remember people might wave at you
yeah.
randomly, or people might want to come over and maybe take a photo, or whatever.
But it was never like, it never felt like, oh, what an anomaly, or like people coming over.
Because my father would, I didn't know this at the time, but my father would still allow me to go like a shopping mall with my mates and go to the cinema. But it would be
Yeah.
a specific
Very
shopping mall at a
controlled
specific
environment.
time where he knew the security guards and all this shit. So it was like, I was like, oh, hold on a second. I didn't know that at that time. But it's like, it just felt normal to me. It never, I think we were very lucky as well because it was at a regional level where people knew us, but at a national level, it
We
depended
were
on the state. Like it
exactly.
depended where, you know what I mean? It
we
Ah.
were
wasn't at that level.
recognized we were recognized, but we weren't also like mainstream,
No, 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 not at
like
all.
it's not like we
Okay.
were in every billboard or anything in
We
the
went
in
to
the
national TV a lot of the times, but it wasn't at the level where you kind of you see like
becomes overwhelming.
these new fellas that basically cannot go anywhere without
Mm-hmm.
any security or any sort of like attention. It never got to that extent, but I think as a kid it could have been a blessing in disguise that I was so kind of like a dummy that I didn't understand what the hell was.
Right.
But for you, maybe it was more. The thing about Venezuela is because the security issue there is a big issue. It's quite like a big deal because there's so many like the insecurity of like getting robbed or getting like mugged or stuff like that because of gangs and stuff like that is quite like a big deal. So that's kind of what became dangerous of it. But apart from that, it was just normal. Like, yeah, I just play because I used to play the timbales. You know,
Right.
I,
Okay.
I was just the kid that played the timbales. That's what I used to do. And then
Yeah.
people sometimes invited us to speak, and that was it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but obviously to me, like, it grew because I grew up in the industry, so that meant that I became a teenager
Right.
on TV and like on the spotlight. So whenever my friends wanted to go to like the mall or go shopping
Yeah,
or
for
go to
you,
the
it was different.
cinema and stuff like that, I always had to like, it was like, it was like a little bit of a battle because like, oh, I knew that if I went to the certain super mall that they wanted to go to and watch the certain movie at the time they wanted to watch it, it was gonna be really uncomfortable for my friends, you know, because
Right.
that meant people were gonna come over or blah blah blah, and it was a little strange. And also
I
in
loved it, mate. I can't lie.
and and in
All the
high
girls
school.
screaming, ah!
No, no, no. It never got to that level. No, no. It wasn't that much. It wasn't that much. Hopefully,
Come
perhaps,
on, don't be
perhaps,
modern.
perhaps, Jaya, perhaps in the future it would be like that here in London. But at that level,
Right?
I was just a kid. I was just do whatever, you know.
Oh, and yeah, and obviously the mocking in high school was so prevalent. Like, oh, here's the girl that comes from TV
Wow.
and blah blah blah. But I didn't like high school.
Yeah, right?
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, high school
Oh,
wasn't
that's
my
too
favorite
bad.
time.
yeah.
No, but
Wasn't mine either, so.
yeah, there you go. There you go. You see, but yeah, I think, you know, having that part of normalcy in your life where you can do your own things,
It's
and
key.
it's so important because it keeps you human.
Yeah, it keeps you grounded.
It keeps you
Right.
grounded. And
Do you
so
have like any hobbies apart from like music?
Uh, I used to have hobbies, but not really hobbies. But I think what I'm doing now is more of a, because my husband and my stepson are in the States.
oh,
So
okay.
I just say stepson, but he's, to me, he's my son, right?
Oh,
But I have my two kids, my daughter-in-law and her college mate.
Okay.
So what I do is I I do my online work, right, for the day.
yeah.
So what I will have to do is wake up early, just think about what to cook for them for breakfast, lunch, and then I'll get ready. It's simple. Sometimes I don't even shower. I just dab, I shower after. And then I do the online gig. There's a couple breaks. So I just kind of grab something to eat and make sure they're doing their homeschool here with my daughter-in-law helping and the friend. So after they're done, I water the plants outside, sweep and all the leaves and just kind of keep up with the house and tell them what to do. And then we walk in the afternoons, get exercise
Yeah.
and chit chat a bit. And it's my time to be on my headphone, just listen to all these artists on Spotify that I reminisce. I love to reminisce. I guess that's a hobby. I love to
Nice.
think about the good old days. Some certain songs have a certain melody and it brings me back to like when I was 10, 12, 15, and I
Oh,
just I get happy. That's my happy space. Music, I put it on my ears, I'm walking, my heart feels good, right? And then that's also my time to just kind of thank God that we're alive, we're provided for. We're not rich, we're not multimillionaires, but He still allows us to live in a house where people look at us and give us respect. I don't know how this works. I really have no idea how everything's working out, but God makes it work out for good. So that's the time. And then I go, come home, eat, I order the food or whatever, because sometimes we don't want to cook. So get the food, it's just there, and everybody's eating here, and we take a shower, we go upstairs. My kids sleep in my room now.
Oh.
nice.
And so, yeah, this then that's when I goof around with them before they go to sleep. That's my
Yeah.
hobby, to bother them. And and my husband, by the way, is a routine. My husband calls in his morning when he's getting ready for work. So before he leaves, we pray.
Oh,
We do
nice.
that every day
Oh,
so
that's
that we
wonderful.
can surrender our day and we can get wisdom to what we're going to decide on for our days. So that's what we do. That's our hobby. And then I go to sleep, and that's when everything starts to work. When it starts, I'm like, okay, what's the plan for music? I'm talking to myself. That's the time to talk to myself and catch up with the world, go on Twitter or whatever, get some news. Whether I like it or not, I take it because I try to keep an open mind on everything. I don't take one side over the other. I just make sure that I take all the info and find out for myself what the truth is. So that's the kind of person I am.
Mm.
Um, I clean, I do laundry. Sometimes in the middle of cooking, laundry's being done, and I'm very particular about laundry, so takes a while, takes a long while. I soak it, I make sure it smells good, blah, all that. And I try to keep up with some friends because a lot of death, during COVID season. I have not done this ever in my whole entire life and say condolences. I'm so sorry for your loss. Sometimes 3, 4 times a day.
Oof.
There was a time here the last month that we were just like condolence, sorry. It was every day. And excuse me. And I tell myself, so when is this gonna stop? So I try to keep up with my friends, say hello when I have lunch, when I come by the house, just sneak in, eat here. I'm
Yeah.
not scared of COVID, so I'm not. So fear, faith over fear. That's what
Yes.
That's right.
I'm very careful. I'm very careful, mind you, but faith over fear.
I think,
So
I agree.
I think there's definitely been this time has definitely allowed, I think, a lot of people to kind of make that realization of being
Some,
in
some,
touch with your
yeah,
friends, and realizing how fragile life can be, and
yeah,
and
how,
quick.
yeah,
yeah.
quick, and how much of a gift every day is, and how much of a gift just experiencing, and,
Being
doing
is.
little things like you do. Maybe it's laundry, maybe it's cooking, maybe it's seeing your mates or whatever.
I
It's
think
a
it's,
gift.
yeah. I think this whole pandemic has really, even for younger people, I say from our perspective, has really, um, w- highlighted the the little miracles that happen every day. The fact that you have your parents around, the fact that there's food provided for, the fact that you got the ones that you care for close to you, and that you are alive and well and healthy, and things
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
things that you were given for granted. And yeah.
Because I was training so much. I was always away from home there from 2018, 2019, and when the pandemic hit, I obviously came back home, and just started hanging out here for like a year and a half now.
Now, yeah.
And dude, it feels awesome to have food every day cooked by my mum. It's unbelievable. Instead of having, you know what I mean? And it's like little things like those. Like coming back home, and now there's always like food prepared by mother. Or like you come back home and then mother, it's like, oh, how you look stressed. Here's a little shoulder massage. You're like, bloody hell, this is nice. Because when you're on the road so much, you kind of just you
You're by
adapt as you go.
yourself,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm sure you know
That's right.
from traveling. It's like it just is what it is. But being constantly on a routine, it just drains you so often. So being having the chance to
Ugh.
stay at home for a bit has been awesome to me.
Not that we have like been relaxing or anything. I think
Nada.
I've worked harder like
You
since
have,
the
yeah.
pandemic started than ever before.
Yeah.
But yeah, but having that those little miracles, that's what I call them. I woke up,
Yeah.
I opened my eyes today, that's a miracle. And
Oh my goodness, you have no idea. You wake up and you're breathing.
mm,
I'm just the first thing is like, thank you, Lord, for my life. Because
me
You're just
too.
you're
my
just like my
kids, I
mother.
want to see them.
Exactly. And it's
So
like, oh, it's spending time with your loved ones. So like in your case, it's your kids and your family that's there. And and for me, it's also like knowing that even if I'm far away from a lot of my family, some of my family, you can text them, you can send them a voice note, you'll see them in a video call, and you know that they're fine. And that's like, thank you, Lord. It's
Yeah.
like that moment of inner
seriously,
peace. And yeah, it's, and
yeah.
I only came to really appreciate those details, thanks to this weird time, if you like to say it,
Yeah.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
I understand.
for you guys, you have your parents, and how's your relationship with
Very
your parents?
close. Very close. We're very very together. We're like a unity.
I think that's probably Jaya
Being in the industry
from
together.
music, being from kids,
Hmm.
because it was very clear dynamic for the first 10 years of our lives that mother and father know the best for us. We trust them and we ride with them.
Yeah.
And then when we
That's
became
right.
teenagers, and then I decided to pursue a more athletic route, and then no longer music, ballet went into theater. It was the same mentality. Like that really, really changed. Mother and father know the best for us. Now, obviously, you're turning into an adult, so you're creating your own perspective of the world. You have different, perhaps, evolved morals or different morals, or different
Different
beliefs,
goals and beliefs.
but
Yeah.
you simply talking with mom and dad, and at the end of the day, it's like if mother and father don't approve, it may not be the right answer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's why I encourage a lot of my friends even now, and sometimes when you know people send us messages, oh my kids love music or they love tennis, how should I guide them? It's like the journey itself of the professional journey, too many extraneous variables. I can't tell you whether you're gonna make it. I can't tell you whether you're gonna be famous or whatever. No one knows.
Mhm.
But what I can say is, if the relationship of family stays really, really close and cool and collected, that journey is gonna last. And I'm carrying until now. I'm only 22, but I know I'm gonna carry it until I'm the day I pass away, and hopefully I want to carry the same thing with my kids. You know,
That's right.
so yeah, I
You
think it comes from music.
you two are amazing souls. Just sitting, listening to you two talk, and I wasn't really, I didn't know what to expect with the conversation, but the two of you are amazing. You honor your parents, and I think that's what's missing in the world right now because of
Agree.
just the dynamics of family. But keep that up because you two are doing so much for the world, and you don't even know it.
So much.
You don't
Oh.
even understand your amount of compassion and passion for what you're even saying about other people. That's another way of paying it forward, right? You're not even aware of it. So I hope and pray that you two definitely give, basically, whatever it is that you're desiring.
Mm.
Don't be afraid, just go for it. And I pray to God that He'll bless you
Amen.
with all of that
Thank you so
wisdom
much.
and all of the knowledge and courage. Because courage, if without courage, you can't do anything.
That's right.
Without the strength, you're not going to be able to handle life. And I pray to God that He continues to just hold on and hang on to you too. This is a time right now where you're finding your mark. You're finding your footing, right?
Ah, yeah.
You're in the right path.
Thank
Thank
you.
Keep
you.
it up.
Thank you
Keep it
so
up.
much.
And I wish I could see your parents. I'm pretty sure we're not far from age, and I'll be like, you two did a fabulous job with
Oh
your
my God, thank you
children.
so
I'm
much.
sure they're gonna watch the podcast,
Amazing.
so they'll sure they'll get your message. I think it's
Ah,
the same
I
age as
I
my mother,
can't wait
actually.
to
Yeah,
meet them.
Yeah, I think you're
Yeah,
the
you
same age as my mom.
yeah,
51.
yeah,
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah. And you're
One,
both
yeah.
and you're both just as beautiful. Yes.
Oh, thank you very much. But yeah, you two are doing so many wonderful things, and just the little conversation we've had. Can you imagine? I'm sitting here talking to two people I never met in my entire life,
I
just
know.
making me feel good, making me feel like I'm seriously. You're giving me my worth. You're
Oh,
Oh,
basically just sitting there giving me this really type of respect that you really don't have to give.
no,
But
you deserve it all. Believe me,
it,
honestly. The
it's
little
funny.
no, but there's this thing like at least for me, I when I first saw your music and how you performed, I the instant admiration was like this. It just happened in the second, and maybe because I understand the difficulty of authenticity when
dude,
it
it's
comes
hard to do what you've done, man.
now, like,
It's hard.
and then people, gave us so much information about you, and I went on my own personal search to find out more about your career and what you've done. And God, honest
It's hard.
honest humble admiration, that's all I got for your work and what
Thank
you've
you.
done.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Not all of my work have been great because there was a time in my life and I really didn't want to sing and I was just doing it through the motions, right?
Sure.
Uh-huh.
But then I started to realize and wake up and said to myself, you know what? If you don't love what you're doing, God's gonna take it away from you, and you're
Mm,
not gonna get it back.
that's right.
So I started to really want to appreciate whatever it is that I didn't have. I just said, no, you have it. Do it. Just don't be afraid to do it. And so I was very insecure, very harsh on myself.
Mm.
I still am sometimes, but I think I've come to a point where I'm comfortable in my own skin, my womanhood, my voice, my color. Just I've been through a lot in the span of maybe 35, 40 years. And like I said, times have changed. And I'm just happy to be in a space now in my life where I get to meet people like you guys who are absolutely taking the time to sort of put artists out there. And this is such great help for me. And now I'm thinking to myself, okay, you can't quit yet.
No, you
Oh, no,
cannot.
don't.
You cannot.
No, don't, don't.
So
No.
much to do.
Don't. Do you?
I've acted before and it's different, right? Singing is that's my thing. It's like
Yeah.
breathing.
Yeah, yeah.
Acting, it's fun, okay. Singing, however, yeah, I
Yeah.
love singing.
Yeah.
No.
Do your kids know about like because it was funny when we spoke to Gary, and he was like his daughter, I mean Kiana, she's a singer herself and she's a
She's
great artist.
fantastic.
And but it's
Fantastic
like she
stuff.
only found out Gary's, was a big deal
Like
like
later.
2009, 2017. She
Are you
didn't know
serious?
she didn't know
Yeah.
her father was that famous. And like the thing about Gary is like every bloody song, like the albums, every bloody song he
It's like a
made was
sold
a
out
hit,
hit.
right?
Oh, yeah.
That's what's so crazy
Oh,
about Gary. So, but Kiana didn't know that Gary
how
was that.
how influential he was.
She just thought she just thought he was famous because he's on TV. But she actually didn't know much about music.
Like the magnitude of it. She didn't really know.
When she came on the podcast and she said that, we were like, Kiana, are you what? Like what?
What?
But anyway, so do your kids know like your kind of like your past and would you replicate?
uh, my daughter and my son, one day they told me, Mom, when we were younger and we would go to the TV network with you and, you're doing your Sunday show. Because we had a Sunday show with Regine, me, and Lani and all this.
Oh, Lani
Like
The
Misalucha.
artist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, they would go there and they didn't realize that I'm Jaya, I'm an artist, and they didn't know. They just thought they're just people.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
and nothing. There was nothing going on. They just knew me. And then finally, when she was, I think, 12 or 13,
Right.
that's when she told me, Mom, I didn't realize you were big. I said, big, like what, my waistline? Big where? I'm like, how dare you? Like, you're like popular. I said, no, I don't have that many social media, following. No, Mom, not that. Who cares
Like on
about that?
TV.
Yeah, like you've done all this. I said, oh, you're gonna do it too. I
Oh.
certainly hope you do it, but I'll be behind you. I'll be your
That's
manager.
Yeah,
Nice.
well, that's how our parents like helped us through the journey back home.
Yeah.
Them being the backbone of everything that we did. My dad being musical director and manager, and
Wow.
and my mom, being photographer and like stylist and like here and there and everywhere.
Even
And
though mother wasn't a professional at any of those things,
it's like
she
she
took
learned on
every
the job.
role ever
Yeah,
for us. Like she all of a sudden learned how to do photography.
like
She learned
styling
yeah.
and
It's just
everything.
I guess it's what mothers do, right? They're
Guess.
always there, so they
Yes.
always adapt and learn. So
And
Yes.
and then it comes the TV gigs and like the regular stuff and the touring and you saw a lot of the parents because we were children and you saw a lot of the parents not being that involved
yeah,
or some of the parents trying to live through their kids
yeah,
and it was a really weird thing and as I grew older I understood how lucky I was, as humble as that sounds.
You
How
are.
lucky,
You
how lucky I
are.
was to have such a great support system, and
yeah.
that to me today it's one of my whys. One of the reasons that drive me to strive to be better because, like, I gotta pay back.
No, and I think you're right about what you said about that might just be what's missing in the planet right now. That sort of family focus, because
Oh
so
yes.
so many questions can be answered at home before you go and sort out the riddle of life
That's
itself.
right. That's right.
So it's I do agree with you, but I also agree that family and music are a good combination. Tough one in the
Yes.
industry, but it's a good combination.
Always. I'm gonna go where you were saying about family units, right?
Yeah,
I grew up with a single mom,
yeah,
and there's really I'm gonna say not all marriages or relationships are perfect.
Of course.
Nothing ever will be.
That's right.
But when you have a great set of parents that are also, I suppose, God fearing, right? No matter what happens with the family dynamics, there's always going to be that time when it's gonna go.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It holds it together.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when parents have children going bananas and doing whatever, there's always that magnet that pulls them back to the family unit. It's very important, and that's what my husband and I are doing for the many years, not many years, maybe just a couple of years, 3 years tops. That there was a time in our lives when we just, oh my goodness, we didn't know if we even wanted to be together. We always focused on the important thing. Our children
Yeah.
need us.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We can't be too selfish to think, do I need you? Do you want me? I don't care. Let's fix the problem. Let's sit down, and when we're done, focus again on the kids.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's very important. That's why I'm glad that you two are good with your parents. And a
Thanks.
lot of people need that right now. A lot of people are growing up with a single parent, and it's a great thing, but it's just really hard for one parent to do the job. Of
Absolutely.
course, a lot make it. Like
Yeah.
my mom was really good at that, although it wasn't perfect. Like I said, nothing's perfect, whether or not you have a complete set of parents or whatever. It's really going beyond yourself.
That's right.
You have to go beyond. It's not all about you. It's so, for the two of you, you already have a pattern. Your parents are great. And so when you have your own children and your marriage, I'm pretty sure you're going to do the same, maybe if not better, because you already know
Hope so.
how it is with your parents. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, just to finish off, is there anything that maybe you're working on in the future that you'd like to let people know, or maybe anything you'd like to mention that's happening for you to, I don't know, for people to tune in or anything like that?
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a good time for me to just say thank you to everyone that requested for these two fabulous dears of mine to react to. Vale and Efra had absolutely opened the door for me. So thank you for requesting me with the other artists. And of course, you can follow me. Wow, promoting myself.
Go for it, yeah.
You may follow me on Instagram, and I'm actually checking out my account. It's Jaya
Nice.
at Jaya. Wait, yeah, at Jaya for at Instagram, and then Jaya Ramsey official. I don't even know on Facebook.
Nice.
Besides official, I have the blue
The
Blue
blue
thing.
tick.
tick. Nice.
Yeah, the verified thing. And on Twitter, it's at Jaya Soul. That's also verified. And I have some stuff coming out soon, but I'm also trying to put out a YouTube account
Nice.
because everyone's telling me to do one.
Yes,
So
please.
yeah, I'm gonna try to be more active on social media, and hopefully, one of my dreams is actually to do a spiritual album,
Oh,
but
wonderful.
I'm sort of still kind of um, trying to see what the best time is for me to do that, because if I have to go in the States, then I have to find the way to to record.
Yeah, yeah,
I technically I'm so dumb. I have no idea
yeah.
with technicals, but I'm still on ABS-CBN. I'm doing the Tawag ng Tanghalan in Showtime as a judge. And what else? Book coming out maybe in the next 5 years because I have to kind of compile everything. I'm gonna be in America soon, so I'm gonna
Awesome.
be doing a lot of gigs there. Hopefully,
Amazing.
yeah. So hopefully starting July throughout.
Yeah.
And there's a movie that might come out. I was actually contacted for this by a good friend of mine named George Lamond. He's a freestyle singer
Nice.
and like dance music type stuff. And we started in the same genre back in the 80s. And so he was telling me that a movie will come out, putting all these different freestyle artists, and they're gonna interview us, and because I don't know what the movie's going to be all about, but that's coming out. Hopefully, we patch things together through Zoom or whatever. And anyways, whatever's going to happen, you can follow me on social media. And
Well,
again, thank you,
no, we'll
Vale.
leave all
That's all
your
right.
social media stuff in the comment section and stuff like that, so people can go check it out. I was thinking one thing, Jaya, before we leave.
Yeah.
Is there any like work that you've done that we can maybe watch right now and we can react to it together for the channel?
Yeah, something that you would like to watch with us.
Yeah, it could be a throwback, or maybe it could be any of your work that maybe is done recently. Like, obviously the KZ one we've already seen, the JR one we've already seen, but maybe one maybe let me check what people have told us to check out from
Have
you.
we?
We
Oh,
checked out one of you, Regine Velasquez and Lani, back in the day.
That was like in
oh, that's the
2000.
greatest love of all.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
that
was
was
awesome.
fantastic.
Then maybe check what people have asked us to check out from you. Maybe we can do it together, and then we can get your feedback from there.
Hold on. I'm looking at habang. Okay, it's called HABANG.
Habang.
H
Habang.
Habang.
And then the next word is MAY.
M A
The
Y.
next word is buhay, BUHAY.
Yeah.
And that's me and Regine,
Oh,
right?
nice.
Just look for Regine Jaya.
Okay.
Because that's not our original song, but we had that duet.
Oh, I have it
with-
here.
This.
Hold on a
Hey,
second.
look at the description, Jaya. Philippines soul diva Jaya and Asia songbird Regine Velasquez.
My
Hold
God.
on. There's so many of them. Hold on.
I have
Hold
one
on.
here. I can put it up. Like let me
We'll put it up here. We'll put it up here.
Oops. Okay.
put it
Because
together.
there are, oh shoot, there's so many versions of that.
I think I got one. I think I got. You can tell me if it's good or not later.
I don't even know what's the. Okay, I don't.
Can you
Is
see?
this
Can you see
live?
our little screen?
Can you see the screen?
Oh my God, that's so old.
I wait.
Wait.
let me
Let's look for
connect
other.
the Bluetooth. Do you want to find another
on.
one?
There's one that looks like this.
Oh, okay, the one with the red background.
Okay, sure. We'll look her now.
All right.
This was just 2 years ago.
Oh, that's perfect.
So
Okay.
I don't really
Oh,
know
okay.
how.
Oh, I have it here. Let me have a look.
This one.
This one. Oh wait, it's loading.
There's so many versions.
This
and
one.
I don't even know. Whoa, 10 years ago. Good Lord. Okay.
Let me. I think this is the one that you were talking about.
Okay.
Is this it?
There's even one where we sang it at a wedding.
Wow.
Oh my God! That is so
Oh, Lord,
cool.
I'm 3 years ago. So I don't know. My
You want to check out this one? This one's
Yeah.
called Regine Velasquez
Sure.
and Jazz powerful duet of Habang Mabuhay. Is that not bad? That's not bad pronunciation, eh?
Habang may buhay.
Habang
Habang may
Mabuhay.
buhay.
Habang.
Until there's life.
That people should know about in
Dude,
in the world.
Yeah, and I think we need women like you and Regine and
Yes.
stuff like that to show the next generation and people
How
like
it's
us.
done. How
No,
it's done.
guidance, man.
Oh,
Guidance is key.
Y'all are just too nice. There are many singers out there that can do. Of course, Regine is like the pinnacle, but for me, there are many singers out there. Katrina Velarde,
She's good,
Morissette,
yeah.
and all them girls. Kyla, oh my goodness, Kyla. I've been friends with a lot of these women and some of these men too, and all I know is that I'm very blessed to be in the company of all these wonderful artists, and nothing could. It's the best gift.
Yeah.
I'm with the best company, and they're all my friends. And one day when I decide to never sing again, I know that I'll still be friends with them. But hey, while we're still singing, we're still gonna do projects together. Hopefully,
Yay!
one of these days, we'll do a concert. My dream is for me, Regine, and Lani to have a concert together.
Oh,
We've
that
never
would
done
sell out.
that.
That would sell out. I would pay to watch that.
Absolutely.
I will definitely practice for a year before I can go on stage with those those two little ladies, because girl, I'm telling you.
Yeah, Lani is very
Woo,
impressive.
child.
Lani
Yeah.
Misalucha is very impressive.
Lani got some crazy vocals, and I mean Regine. Well, everybody knows about Regine, but you three together. I think we watched that one clip where the three of you were singing together, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's just heaven! It's heavenly vocals coming together." It was so great, so great.
How'd you guys
Oh
meet?
man.
Like in TV or something, or did
That's
you?
the same show. That show goes on every Sunday from 1997 or 98 till
Till now.
2005. It
Ah.
was on for 2008. It was on for a long time. Regine, I had my baby. I was still
Oh.
in that show.
Nice.
So we were there, and it was a number one Sunday show for a long, long time. People sat down and just freaking listened to us and be like, "Oh my God!" And there was no social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we really were very fortunate to have done a show for more than 12, 15 years. I don't know anymore. And that was it. That was our playground. We it was called SOP. And I don't know why it's called SOP. uh, then they changed the name to Party Pilipinas, and then they changed it to All Out Sundays, and then it dissolved. But them were the best times of our lives.
Nice.
Oh, how
Truly were.
amazing. Jaya, honestly, what an honor. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us and share some of your incredible wisdom with us. I mean, this has been absolutely mind blowing. I cannot, literally, the little fan in me cannot believe that I just had a conversation with you.
No, no, I'm the giddy one because I'm just like, oh my God, the reactors. I call y'all the reactors.
That's
They
okay.
want me on YouTube. And I said, I can't. I can't. This is insane. I gotta go do this. So thank you.
No,
Thank
no.
you for connecting with me. And you too, Bale and Efra, honored to be talking to you two. You two are wonderful people.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see you just do whatever in the next 5, 10, 20 years.
Thank
I'm
you.
a fan of yours. I'll put up the fan club, US based.
Oh, thank you so much, Jaya.
Well,
Honestly,
Jaya, truly an honor
pleasure,
again.
pleasure.
Thank you so much for going on. You're welcome anytime you want,
Thank you.
and when any of these projects are released, do let us know. We'll check them out for sure.
For sure, I will let you know if something's up.
The podcast will go out, also be available on iHeartRadio for those just listening. So thanks for listening to those who are just listening. And Jaya, everybody,
Thank
nice
you so
stuff, Jaya.
much.
You've been awesome.
God bless.
Thank you very much. Maraming salamat and God bless
Salamat.
you.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.